Everyone would please rise for the pledge and remain standing for the prayer. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for this beautiful day we've had. We're just so thankful for the sunshine. We just pray for continued dry weather these next several days and to help the farmers to be able to get out into the fields and to be able to get much needed work done. And we just pray tonight, this meeting. We pray for your wisdom and for your guidance and for your strength. And we just thank you for this opportunity to meet and to gather and to talk about issues that are pertinent to the community. And we just pray that we make decisions that reflect your heart. And we thank you for all your blessings. We just thank you for each and every individual that calls this place home or ever has, and may they always feel welcomed. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
All right. Dan, if you would, roll call.
Brandon Elmore,
Present.
Bob Leahy,
Here.
Nathan Conklin,
Here.
Jim Heiss,
Here.
Tito Frias.
Here.
All right. Consent agenda. I trust that you guys have had an opportunity to review the consent agenda. If there are no questions, I would entertain a motion.
I move that we accept the consent agenda as presented.
We have a first. Do we have a second?
One second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Consent agenda approved as presented. We're blessed to have presenters on the agenda tonight. And so Mr. Jim Dubinsky, if you don't mind, and his wife, I see Diane is here, so if you guys would like to go ahead and take the pulpit.
All right.
Awesome.
As you know, I'm with State Line Heritage Days. We do the parade and also we do other activities with State Line Heritage Days. We were here last year, we're back again this year. We put on the BMX show last year and it was very successful. We had a lot of feedback on it and everybody was very impressed with it. And so we had a lot of comments, a lot of people was asking about what we can do to improve it, to make it bigger for this following year. So the only comment was that we can bring the motorcycles back into this year and the motorcycle stunt show. And so I talked to the guys and asked them what kind of a deal we can do to get the BMX guys and do a package show and do the BMX guys with the motorcycle guys. And so they worked up a package deal for us, and so we got something out there, but it's a little bit pricey because of the fuel prices. As we know, that's a #1 target for everything right now. And we're facing that with State Line Heritage Days because of entertainment. Everybody's charging so much for entertainment because of the fuel prices to get here to do any kind of entertainment. So, and these guys have got to come from, load up and come a ways to perform, to do the show. So, we're limited on funding, and then we're going around and start collecting donations to see what we can do and what we can't do. So I thought, well, I would come to the city. That was our first generous donation. And of course, some of the other local people here in town that's helped us out to get the donations to get the BMX guys here last year. So I figured that would be my first stop, was come to Union City and ask you guys what kind of a donation or where you guys feel we can help us out. And so we get you guys this feeling of what kind of a show you think we need to perform this year. As we know, there will be some demolition going on, and they're going to need a lot more area with the motorcycles if we decide to go that route. But Steve's always got that took care of. I don't have to worry about that. He's always takes care of where we need to work on. So, but if we do the motorcycles and we do the BMX guys, you're talking probably about $9,000 to bring them in here, and it's about a 2-hour show. The 3-man stunt show with the motorcycles, and same thing with the BMX guys. They do a 2-man, 3-man stunt show as you saw last year. So we're just getting started with the fundraiser. We're just getting out there and start working on it. We got some other places we need to go yet, but I just wanted to get a feeling with the city and where the city feels that they feel that that's a good idea. We need to start with the BMX guys, or do we want to just stay with the bikes? Or do we feel that it's a good thing to do the combo show, or not do the BMX guys and just do the motorcycles? I guess that's where I'm at right now. Like we at the committee, we did get the feeling from the city, see what they feel. You know, we're kind of in between. He gave us a really good price. I mean, it's a lot more if he would throw it at anybody else. They really enjoyed themselves here last year. They felt it was a really good crowd, and they felt real good here coming to Union City. They felt really welcome. So, and they had fun here. So, higher to most places, but they gave us a good deal to come to Union City and do it a little bit cheaper than normal. So, and you know, but we thought we'd offer it to you guys and see what you guys feel, because you guys were generous last year to help us out, and so did some of the other places here in town to help us out with. So again, we're nonprofit. We work on it for donations, and we work our butt off all year round to do this. So and we try to keep going all year round to do this. And I know last year when I walked around while the show was going on, and we had a lot of people, eyes were all on the show the whole time. So, and then I got a lot of feedback on it all year round. Everybody enjoyed it. So, and I think that was a good thing. So, but
So I heard a couple of options, but I only heard one price.
well,
is there a breakdown for the different options?
If we do the BMX guys, just like we did last year,
Yeah.
that was our $2,000 show.
Okay.
Okay, and then he didn't price just the motorcycle separate. He packaged that show in together with the BMX guys because they want to come anyway.
Okay.
So he priced that as one package together with the motorcycles and the BMX guys as $9,000. So
And we're hoping to this year also be able to give the bikes away like we did last year.
yeah,
That
we're
was a
still
lot
going
of
to
fun.
get the bikes
There was
away.
2 happy children that left that program,
Yes.
and we really want to do that again this year.
Yeah.
So
We're still going to give the bikes away. That was.
it was a lot of fun,
Yeah.
and kids really seemed to enjoy it, and there was just as many adults that were tuned into what they were doing as the children did.
Yeah.
So it's a whole community event, and I mean, we're just honored that you let us come to talk to you about it again.
How much did the city contribute last year?
1,000?
Jan, does that sound right?
That kind of.
Yeah.
Probably
Thousand?
We come up with the other 1,000.
Yeah, we came up with the
State
other
Line
$1,000
Heritage Days
last
and other
year.
people.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's a
What do you-
lot
what
to
do you think?
ask.
What do you think your potential for donation is gonna be as far as, do you have any?
Well, we just get
Projection
started,
goals.
actually, we're just starting, we've
I
talked
know
to a
that's a
couple others,
loaded
but they're all
question.
pretty much, our reins are tied right now with us, because we're in negotiation with our ride company because of fuel prices, so all the ride companies and everything that they run the rides by is operate off of diesel fuel. So that's getting into our pockets, gonna be majorly getting into our pockets this year. So we're watching on that right now, and we're talking with them real heavy. And then also, again, we're watching our pricing, our budget real heavy because of our entertainment, because again, we used to get some of our entertainment used to come at a reasonable price. They've raised some of their prices tremendously. You know, some of the entertainment that Jandy used to get us for 3 and 4 hours was, you know, what was it? They've increased their prices, you know, $800 to $1,000 to us now. We're like, wait a minute, you know, we gotta provide entertainment, but we gotta also watch, you know, how much money we got to spend. So that's what we're thinking, you know, that's why we decided, well, I told her, I'll come to the council and we'll talk to them, you know, and get a feel where we're at with them, because they were one of our generous donators, you know, that helped us out last year. And I went to talk to Abe at the Sawmill yet. They were a big supporter for the Heritage Days. They help us out with the concerts, and they also help us out with the motorcycle or with the BMX show too last year. So, but a lot of changeover out there, and they've kind of backed off on some of their donating too. I've heard too. So I don't know
We don't
that.
know that for a fact.
So I have to go out and talk to them yet. So. And somebody said I need to get with the people from Workhorse. I've got to get with whoever that is out there. I'm not sure who my contact is out there. They said talk with them guys out there. They're, you know, that's a possibility. They may help us out too. I've got to find out who to talk to there too. So, But I just don't know, do you guys feel that that would? Do you think that's a good idea, or do you think we ought to just stick with the BMX guys?
What's the Board of Heritage Days say? Are they in favor for it? Is most everybody in consensus?
Yeah, everybody's like,
I-
you know, what we can do and get donations to help out, they're supportive of anything we do, you know, and, you know, looking out for people to help us along the way. They're like, let's get out and hit our supporters from last year and go out and try to do what we can to make it happen for the community.
Yeah.
Cause it isn't for us, it's for everyone in Union City.
Yeah.
Cause that's what we're here for, is the people of Union City. And, you know, Dark County and, you know, just, it's a whole community. We're not just one, we're everybody.
Have you been given heads up on what the increased cost for the rides will be?
No,
We haven't yet, we're
It's
still,
still
Jan,
working it
we're
out.
still working with them on
Okay.
negotiating on
Yeah.
that, because,
that's a work in progress.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, we're still working on that.
Okay.
I think the combination show is a good idea. I know it's a heavy lift.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
Financially, that's the scary part. And I think we'd be willing to, you know, help significantly, but it's a tough, that's why I asked about, well, how you felt about the potential with fundraising, because I'd like to see it happen. I think, like I say, I think it'd be the combination would be, you know, that show would be one, you know, a big step above where they were last year even, so. That's just a matter of what we feel like we can do.
Does the high side, do you go to the high side normally for contributions? Or?
We've talked to the high side and it's pretty much, it's a blank zero. We don't.
We will try.
We don't get much,
We will
we
put
don't
it out
get
there for
anything from the
everyone.
high side. They're pretty much drawn tight over everything. I mean.
But we will contact them.
We
and
talk to
represent
them,
us.
we talk to the mayor, and we talk to them over there, but they pretty much have very little anything to offer to us, just because of the fact is they don't have anything. And we've tried to offer to help us when we put the rides in their railroad park, and they don't have anything to help us with. They have to take everything to Dark County for their park down there to get anything down there. They have to take it to their county to do that. So it's pretty much just it's a lot of paperwork, and the mayor down there just says he just feels terrible that he can't really do anything to help us, you know,
Okay.
so.
What do other council members think about this proposal in terms of it being somewhat open-ended with the two options? You know, $1,000 if we go with just the BMX show, you know, half of that, or half of the motorcycle show if they should happen to be able to raise the full 9,000, we'll do 4,500. Think of that as a possibility.
Clarify again, you said the BMX show was 2,000 last year, right?
2,000 last
So
year.
what will it be this year?
He's keeping his prices the same.
okay.
Yeah,
That's- I
so he
didn't-
said even though the fuel prices, he's still
I
keeping
missed that.
everything the same. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
That's
Yeah.
good.
I'm okay for that.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
I mean, it still leaves the community to come up with the other half. So,
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean,
And I'm gonna work on it hard. I mean, I did it last year, I busted my butt till I got it, and I'm gonna go at it hard. I just need to get your feelings on it. If you guys feel that we can do if you guys are supportive of it, then I'm gonna go for it. You know, I'll go out until I get it. I'll go around and get all of it until I can find it. I mean, if there's people out there that I can go, I'll go pounding for it till I get it. Like I said, there's places, they told me to go to Workhorse, they talked to them at Workhorse, they told me to go to different factories here in town that just, you know, that might help us out. I just gotta get to find out, to contact people and knock on the doors and say, hey, we need some help.
So is that in the form of a motion?
yeah, I move that, well, should we ask Jan is there any issue with funds for doing this? Or proposing it in that way?
No, I don't think there's an issue.
Okay. Well, I move then that we have an open-ended option of half of whatever show option they go with, whether that's the $2,000 show, we donate 1,000, or the $9,000 show where we donate 4,500.
We have a first, we have a second.
I'll second.
First and second, Jan, if you would, roll call vote.
Brandon Almore,
Yes.
Bob Leahy.
Yes.
Nathan Coughlin.
Yes.
Tim Heiss.
Yes.
Jerry Reyes.
Yes.
Thank
Thank you so
you.
much.
Also, while I'm here on the Heritage Days thing, I just want to let you know that we've extended Heritage Days this year into Sunday. That Sunday will be the Lions Club's day.
75th.
We'd be our 75th anniversary. It's big, we've got a lot planned. We're gonna do the dedication of the bridge out, the covered bridge with the Lions Club. We've got right now probably about 80 Lions Clubs coming in from the state of Indiana and in our district. So there'll be a big celebration for that, and it'll all be here at Artesian Park, and be a lot going on. There'll be a lot of traffic in town, but it's all gonna be stationary, and then it'll be set and parked. We've got 2 school buses that's gonna pick up everybody, all the Lions Club, and then there'll be shuttles, and they'll take them to the park, and then bring them back up. So that way we don't have a lot of people lost trying to find out where the park is, and then coming back. So we decided that we talked to Mr. Black, and he's gonna provide us 2 school buses, so everybody can get there at one time and come back at one time. So nobody's lost or gonna miss any of the entertainment at either point. So, and I just happened to take over presidency of the Lions Club, so I'll have my hands full with that. So I'll just be finishing up Heritage Days, jumping into that, but we urge all you guys, and you guys will be getting invitations to be, we're gonna ask you always to please be out there for that, because we're gonna do some, have all our dignitaries out there, and then all of our governors and our lieutenants from Lions Club will be there. So we'll sure have you guys out there, and there'll be a lot of entertainment, meals and food, and stuff will be going on out there. So we're kind of excited about that.
That's awesome.
So,
Very good. Well, Jim, thank you so much.
Okay,
Seriously,
thank you.
Thank you both.
Appreciate
Good
it.
time.
and I'll
Well,
keep you guys
likewise.
updated where we are on our fundraiser. I'm pretty sure we'll be back for the full amount, because I'm gonna bust my butt, and I'll get it. All right, thank you very much.
Good job.
All right. Department reports, I do not have anything currently outside of what's in the agenda. So, Jan, do you have anything? Council members. Brandon?
I have nothing to report this evening.
Bob?
I just had a question on,
Yes.
any info about the First Financial Bank, that they're kind of doing a little facelift? And
Yes. Yeah, and that is First Financial that is doing that. It's I haven't been given the green light to say anything beyond that. But if you know who's doing the work, then hopefully you can do the math.
I know it's both banks, or the same bank, both buildings, but I was just curious.
No, great question. Yeah, it's I mean, by all appearances, they're doing quite the number, because I think they're taking off the old facade. Yeah,
It's
so.
kind of laminated stonework.
Yeah, it was starting.
The only thing that bothered me was they're just could at least have a dumpster possibly to put it in.
I do have
They
a,
probably will use a skid loader or something to pick it up and put it in a dumpster at some point.
I will say something to them
I
and
thought
see if
that
they.
was kind of,
Yeah, I don't know what
ugly,
the disposal plan.
put it kindly. But
No, absolutely.
other than that, that's it.
Alrighty.
I just had a question from somebody in the community about what's going on with the Walgreens building. Do we have an ETA on when that's?
Not outside of it's Family Dollar and Dollar Tree,
Yeah.
and they have not given me an open date. But I do know they're looking for a buyer for the other facility, the Family Dollar facility. And so they have one interested party. They've not divulged who that is, other than a retailer. So if there's anybody in the community or outside the community that's looking for retail space, that corner certainly would be a viable option. So, but yeah, not an opening date, other than the fact that it looks like they're working pretty diligently inside and getting things set up. So I would reckon it's not terribly far out,
Yeah.
most likely.
I heard dates floated around, but I think they were a little.
I can let you know that they reached out Friday and was asking if there would be fines or penalties if they display banners across their parking lot and flags along the sidewalk and additional banners on the side of the building celebrating their grand opening, and I advise them that there will be no fines or penalties for any such action. The city's focus is celebrating their grand opening. So I would say it's close because they're working in that vein.
Awesome.
So
Forward a picture of the new billboard to them.
That's
Good
the
question.
only one I had, so.
Tim?
I don't have anything.
Tito?
So yes, I received a question from a couple members of the community. There's growing concern about the corner of Lenox and Columbia Street. We're very glad that business is booming and that we produce golf carts in Union City. However, because the carts are parked in the parking area along the Columbia Street curve, people driving from Lenox onto Columbia Street cannot see whether there's any oncoming traffic coming in from the west.
And that makes sense. We could probably have, because then that's short term, but yet even that being said, we could probably have a discussion with them about getting some of those.
I mean, we can absolutely have a discussion. It's already in the works. They're already starting to relocate the rental carts to the back of the new warehouse facility. So I would say in a relatively short period of time, all those things are going away.
Yeah.
Wagner Paving has already been to do the site survey for paving the new parking lot. So I would guesstimate in a short period of time, it's going to be fixing itself.
Yeah. But we can definitely get them to clear a few out right along.
Right, they're all along the curve.
Yeah,
so that
I'll have that
Does that make
conversation
sense?
with him tomorrow.
Yeah, because he's been wonderful to work with, and he doesn't want certainly to put anybody in any kind of jeopardy. So
the other idea, that was one of them. The other one is that maybe can we reduce the speed limit on incoming traffic from the west on Highway 28 to 30.
that's highway. So they'll get
It's
below
30 in
30.
front of Pizza Hut?
Yeah, that's-
No, not Pizza Hut, but
It changes about right around the curve.
yeah, right before you get to the curve,
Yeah.
it's a 30 sign.
I think people just not.
Yeah.
I was thinking about going the other way, but yeah, about where St. Vincent's about changes from 30 to 40, I think, right there.
Yep.
Very good. So the other one is that looking through the financials, I saw that we spent $8,000 on a brewery, and
On it.
so I was curious.
That's what's labeled on it. It's the back, or not the backstay, the
City Finance.
Hub City Finance building. It was for demolition and basically reconstruction.
Okay.
So that was to get that facility basically rehabbed, because it's been empty for maybe 20 years, maybe. So somewhere thereabouts.
Every bit of that.
What's that?
I said every bit of that.
I don't remember last time something was in there, but yeah, it's to get that
Certainly
rehab.
as far as business, it's
Why does it say brewery on the financial?
That's the business that's going in there eventually. That's what's
Oh.
labeled under. But yeah,
Okay.
it's actually it's a city-owned property, and we're just trying to get it rehabbed.
Okay.
So yeah, it would have looked at least better aesthetically if we'd had Hub City Finance, I'm sure, in there.
Okay, yeah, that's all.
But yeah, I was trying to get back on the tax roll. So
Thank you. That's all I have.
oh no, thank you. Good questions. Steve.
Here just to answer questions if need be.
Alrighty. And we have no old business. So we will go straight to, well, and student rep, I do need to say this is huge from the student reps that relate to me. The girls softball team are county champs. That's huge. So kudos to them. They've set all kinds of records this year for that team, because they've won more games, I think, than they've ever won in the history of the program. And now they're county champs too. So really, really proud of them. And then the boys that top it off are state ranked, the baseball team. So, yes, Bob?
Number one.
Number one.
They're ranked number one. in the
And
state.
that's in their division.
The last I heard, they were 10-0, and I don't know. if
I think
it's
they
true.
lost their
I don't
first
know
game
if
maybe
it's-
over the weekend. Was
I
in
was gonna say, I didn't- I
yeah,
don't
they were in
know
the
if
county
that's true.
championship, in fact.
Yeah, you can go 10 and
Yeah.
1.
Yeah, so that's serious.
Yeah.
That's really serious. So kudos to them. That's strong. New business. We have child advocacy and ARP. You should have in your packets what Tito had asked for a couple meetings ago regarding the allotment and plan for the ARP funds. Excuse me. Of course, we already know that some of them were allocated early on, and actually the public safety radio system was the very first allocation. And then Vision Corner to help meet the matching funds that are coming in from the state. And then we've discussed ad nauseum, but I don't know, you guys help me out here, I don't know, we've had an official vote on that, and we're not voting on that tonight, but I don't think we've had an official vote on the housing infrastructure, have we? Or did we, for ARP? Does anybody, we haven't, okay. But this is for child advocacy. And you guys approved 10,000 when they presented last year. You approved 10,000 toward their basically their services, to support their services and what they were doing and what they were providing for the county.
That was part of their budget campaign.
Yeah, that was part of their budget campaign last year, in which they were presenting to basically everybody under the sun in Randall County. Today's request or ask is for, and I think we discussed this in different facets previously, but 40,000 out of ARP, which is not the city budget, but it's the ARP funds that have been allocated toward communities, which a lot of those funds are designed toward one of the allocation opportunities for those funds is mental health and support and recovery from the pandemic, from a mental capacity, and any type of counseling and family support and guidance that can be provided through those funds is a acceptable allocation under those funds and under the language attached to those funds. So that being said, this very much in line, ARP or child care advocacy very much aligns to what the funds can be used for. So there's an opportunity to have child care advocacy based out of here in town, downtown.
I don't know if that's been made public knowledge, but I think we can definitely go ahead and do that.
Yeah, yes. Yeah, and as a member of the board, you're on the board.
Yeah.
Yes, if you
Child
don't
Advocacy
mind.
Group is actually moving to Union City. I believe it's August.
They will move as soon as possible. Their building is literally starting to fall apart around them.
Yeah.
They'll
There's
move as
been
soon as we
issues.
can get the space ready.
They're in Winchester, right off the square right now.
Here.
But they're moving down, oh shoot,
Down here on Pearl.
down on Pearl, right next to where Dennis Pratt's insurance.
Correct.
Former Hoosman Stemmer
Yeah.
office.
Right on the alley.
Okay.
So
Very good.
they're excited, actually.
That's awesome.
That's a nice, that's still a nice building.
Yeah.
Still a nice shop.
Just a little dated.
Yeah.
Well, the fees for them to cover the construction costs to basically make that facility user-friendly, because it's been gutted, but to reconstruct it for them to be able to move in and make it user-friendly, because I guess they have to have like and I wish I should have invited Mallory here to better explain this, but they have to have like a setting that's like a living room type setting to have some of their counseling take place, if I understand correctly. Okay. And so there's obviously, you just can't go into an office and say, okay, we're gonna use this. Now it has to be fabricated to fit the mold of what they have to have.
One of the rooms also then has to be insulated to be silent.
Yes,
People in the
soundproof.
room next to it can't hear the interview or vice versa.
Yes.
So it's to protect the children that are going through this situation.
Yeah, which I can't even begin to fathom that process. So obviously there's a lot that's entailed. Needs. So in order for them to make that move, we would propose, or I would propose, a allocation from ARP funds. Again, not city budget, not city funds. This is ARP funds toward child care advocacy for them to create the facility they need and to be here in town and to provide the services, continue to provide the services toward the youth, toward our families, toward the kids in not only Union City but all of Randall County. They still would serve the entire county, but out of Union City. So I would open it up to questions, comments, thoughts, words. Yes, yeah, I would need, yeah, I would need a motion if there's no,
Well, other than make the comment, you know, we had originally made efforts to get them here in the first place and weren't able to come up with a facility that was adequate and suitable. And, so we lost them to Winchester, and I think that it's, and our police department utilizes them and utilizes them more than any of the other departments anywhere, so
yeah.
I think it's wholly appropriate that they be here.
And Tito, please correct me if I don't mean to put any words in your mouth, but my take on it from things you had said previously when ARP first became available was you had expressed a big heart toward anything that was serving the needs of the families, especially those affected. I mean, you expressed yourself one time where I didn't forget, where, you know, got.
Well, thank you. Yes, I just think it's some of the most needy parts of that community. We're talking about you know, the effects of COVID and you know, keeping kids at home, and some of the mental health repercussions, and you know, maybe relationships that are not working, or things that go toxic or that are not comfortable for children. Children, I mean, can generally escape to school and have a little peace and whatever, but you know, when people are stressed out and there's tension because maybe they lost their job because of COVID, I mean, this is a crisis across the country, and then it's hit Union City hard. So I just think it's an amazing thing that we have these funds available from the American Rescue Plan, you know, from the Biden administration, for, you know, providing COVID relief, that we have these resources to bring to bear to some of the most needy families in our town, in the county.
Yeah, well put. All right, well, I appreciate the comments, guys, and with that, I would entertain a motion for approval.
I will move that we approve an allocation of $40,000 to go.
It's 50,000.
Well, yeah, it's deceiving. That includes the 10 from last year that you guys already approved. That's just showing the total allocation, so Tito's right in his framing. No,
So
you're
the
right.
rest of the, you know, up to 50, right? So the $40,000 towards the child advocacy support group. And I would say yes for the refurbishment of the building that they're going to be in, but if they have any other worthy needs in terms of finances, operating expenses, and so forth, then I mean, I would include that in my motion.
Awesome, appreciate that. We have a first, do we have a second?
One second.
Jan, if you would, roll call vote.
Brandon Elmore,
Yes.
Bob Leahy.
Yes.
Nathan Conklin,
I'm going to abstain because I'm on the board.
okay. Tim Heiss,
Yes.
Tito Frias.
Yes.
All right, very good. All right, now ordinance 2022-05, which this is the salary ordinance amendment for the city manager. This has been long overdue because of, this is the first reading. I'm sorry, what's
I
that?
have a question.
Shoot.
That invoice that was in the packet, was he just approving that invoice at the same time?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, that's the proposed invoice if you approve the funds. That's my
That's
bad. I
not-
dropped the ball on that. The invoice in your packets. That is,
Should have been
That
right.
is
be
for
the
the
next
advocacy center, the Josiah R. Davis construction.
Right.
That's for the demo and the supplies to begin the.
here's a quick question though. If the funds are approved to them, we don't technically need a motion if they would, correct?
Yeah, that's true.
This should come out of that.
Yeah, we should come out of the funds we just approved, that they would have access, they would have
Yeah.
discretion of the expenditure of those funds. I don't know why I didn't think of that earlier, but
It's not the city spending the money,
That makes sense.
advocacy group is spending the money.
Yeah.
So,
Alright.
so question,
yes,
it's not that we've allocated the money for them and then we do the outlays.
no, we just,
It's that we giving them the funds. and
they do the
use
outlays.
it.
Yeah, yep. So they use the money to meet what you framed up in the motion, they would use it for reconstruction, to buy supplies, to buy couch for the living room or whatever they
Right.
need for the.
I think Mallory's intent of that $40,000 is for us to manage and complete the reconstruction and the layout of the interior. I'm sure she'll write checks because they're not for profit if that's how you want to manage it. And I'm sure Joe's okay with that, but basically that first invoice was because they're wanting to get in as soon as possible.
Right.
There was a break in work at Pigeon Corner, so Joe started on that building from the initial conversation.
Okay.
So I don't care who writes the check or how we do it logistically. I just need to communicate that to Mallory.
Right.
I
So what do you
we're
think is the
okay
best?
I think we're okay either way, but I think the city is gonna need to pay this. Well, it wouldn't matter either way you do it.
If
Yeah.
they do it, they're probably gonna have to approve it through the board, which means waiting for another board meeting, when you have another board meeting.
Third Tuesday of the month.
Yeah, so,
Joe's okay either way.
Well,
I mean, this got, the work outworked the budget process is basically what happened just because of timing issues.
okay. So
So,
what are your thoughts? Because once the money's been out, it's definitely, or it's technically allocated into their hands upon the motion of the funds.
Yeah, I don't think I mean, I think I can go ahead and pay this invoice or pay it to them, either way.
Yeah, I was to say, or you could, I mean, if either way works, you could even call Mallory
Let's see. how
and get the okay from,
Yeah.
I mean,
Okay.
we could pay this invoice and then the remainder of the funds, we can decide whether they get it all or they'll report back on how they've used it, right?
yeah, it
yeah,
would.
I mean, the use of the money, I know exactly how it's going to be used. They need to do certain things to the facility so that they can move in. The paint, the furnishings, the furniture, all those things they're bringing with them. So this funding is to prep the facility so that
Soundproofing and
it's
everything.
plug and play when
Okay.
they arrive here to open up their office.
Okay.
That's the purpose of the funding.
Well, I'll defer to whatever you think's best, Jan. If you're okay with,
could we amend our motion that we're paying this on behalf of child advocacy?
I don't think you need to do that,
But-
just leave it as it is.
Okay.
I think it's
Okay.
fine.
yeah, very good. Thank you.
Yeah, that's the only thing that, as long as they are able to take credit for getting that money, cause that's, that's an important factor we received at,
Yeah,
that's
fundraising.
fundraising.
Absolutely. Yeah, good
So-
point.
Well-
Good, that's a great point.
So, but I mean, I can just call her and see how they
Yeah.
want.
Yeah, just call her
Yeah.
and,
Yeah,
Jan, I've got her cell phone if you need.
okay.
all right, back to the ordinance 2022-05, which is a salary ordinance amendment for the city manager on the first reading. Again, this is overdue. This is going from one hat to the other regarding from Monty's retirement. You should have that page in your packet, which is,
So basically, we're just changing the assistant city manager to the hourly rate. Or the
correct.
bi-weekly rate with the change because of the swap in positions.
Correct.
I have a series of questions.
Yes, shoot.
On October 25th, 2021, we passed ordinance 2021-14. Ordinance fixing the salaries and wages of appointed officers, et cetera, et cetera. Why are we wanting to change that already now in May instead of waiting at least a year? We've already approved this.
Because within this year, Monty has retired, well, not retired, semi-retired, and he's getting paid hourly. He's no longer the city manager.
He was still city manager at that point.
It's not more money.
So, yeah, it's actually gonna be significantly less, I would assume, because he's basically working, 2 days a
Tuesday,
week?
Thursday.
Yeah.
Yeah, he works 2 days a week.
Oh, so he's
So-
now assistant?
So he's
Yeah,
now.
Oh,
and he's and one important thing, he does not have benefits.
Yeah,
Right.
He no longer has benefits to the city, so we're not paying his benefits anymore.
Okay, I see. So I was concerned because it seemed like if you considered an hourly rate that he's working in 2-week periods, then it's quite a large
Oh,
increase.
yeah, yeah.
But it's hourly because he's only working a
only
couple
working
days
2
a
days.
week.
Right, Tuesdays and Thursdays. And again, I can't stress,
Monty's only process is to close out the final 4 grants that were still left open from 2021.
which includes the blight.
Correct, and he's working diligently to get all the paperwork and everything finished up. He wanted to ride those through to completion, and the way the blight grants tracking, we don't know when that'll be, but that's the purpose of what's transpiring. He's only working Tuesdays and Thursdays, and it's limited office hours.
And moment of clarity, we received the blight grant. When he said we don't know when that'll be, we don't know when the buildings are coming down. We received the grant. That's not in question. The buildings will come down. It's when they will come down that's in question.
Trying to find somebody is my understanding.
Right.
Oh, mercy me. And have someone submit a proper bid that includes everything supposed to, yeah. So,
Okay, so that answers a bunch of my questions, but there's still one remaining. How
Yeah,
come
sure.
then it $10, this is biweekly rate, to $764.65. I know that's like a range, but that top range has changed from what we approved last year.
mhm.
It's come down, so why is it coming down?
Looks the same on mine.
The one that I saw in our, from October 25th, said 787 was the top part. So 653.10 to 787.60. I can show you.
Was the previous one.
So
Was
it's
what we
technically
approved.
coming down?
And this one's less.
So what's
And the ones
issue?
here is 764. This is the one from last year.
Yeah, what's
That's
the issue though? It's coming down.
I mean, no, but why? Why are we?
Why are we dropping it? I don't know.
Sorry,
what
Steve.
It's
Too
just
bad.
the top, but, yeah.
I'm out.
Yeah. Well.
Any
that's just
thoughts,
one.
Jane? Is that, do we just have a typo?
Well, and then
It might
it's,
be a typo, it
City
might not
manager.
Yeah, it might be.
It was supposed to stay the same,
Yes.
whatever it was.
A good catch.
Yeah.
Let me go look and see what it was, cause then
If-
we can say what it should be.
I can show you. I mean, do you believe where this is from? This is an excerpt from. This is an excerpt from the. Our council
Steve
packet.
or Mr. Mayor, can either one of you advise, is the city workers paid bi-weekly, weekly, or bi-monthly?
They're paid every other week.
Yeah.
Bi-weekly.
Oh, I see
26 pay
what I
periods.
did.
Yeah, that's what I thought, but I did that math backwards, and technically it should be different, $1,096.16.
You take the
Right, that includes the.
28,500.
Yeah, 28,000.
It should be
Yeah, that's what I did too,
787,
and it's not
60,
So it should be 787.60.
60 for the range on the other end.
Okay.
or that number.
For 2022.
Yeah, yeah, for 2022,
And still 653.10 is
the
the,
low end.
okay. So did everyone get that? We'll have to form that as an amendment to the motion.
Or a correction.
That math is $8,000 low versus the paragraph below it. Paragraph below it said the city manager, Union City will receive compensation of $28,500 per year.
That's in
That's
addition to the
additional.
biweekly amount.
Okay,
It comes from different line
Yeah,
items.
that's, yeah,
okay.
cause that's the,
That's kind of confusing.
If you look at, if you look at the,
The
well,
number
the-
was water
the-
and sewage.
yeah,
What?
the compensations from the mayor's office for the top compensation, then the 28,500 is from the sewage operating fund, water works operating fund. It's just the way those splits are that we do with.
So the
city
first amount
manager's
comes
salary,
out
the
of-
mayor's salary. The clerk's salary split.
Yeah, I know the clerk
salary
says.
split,
Split.
mayor's
Yeah.
salary split
Yeah.
also.
administration is.
Yeah, I
Although,
think you're right.
well, I don't know how your staff is, but can't remember. But yeah, that's the splits in it, so.
So if there's no other questions, I would entertain or open.
And that also is why that hourly rate is higher than.
Right, because it includes those
It
parts.
includes those parts, yeah.
Yeah, I would open for a motion.
I'll move we accept ordinance 2022-05, ordinance amending the salary ordinance with the aforementioned corrections.
We have first, do we have a second?
I'll second.
That was Bob. Jan, if you would, roll call vote.
Brandon Elmore,
Yes.
Bob Leahy,
Yes.
Nathan Conklin,
Yeah.
Tim Heiss,
Yes.
Peter Frias.
Yes.
And then the next one is ordinance 2022-08. That is the backstay lost no parking zone. And that is basically due to our accessibility for residents that have accessibility challenges and also emergency personnel. We ran in, this was raised by raised by the location manager of the backstay lost, that unfortunately the parking is so, I mean, it's completely filled, so the parking is full. And unfortunately, they're occupying places that makes accessibility inoperable at the current in its current state. So this is to provide a no parking zone on the West Oak Street. It's at 97 feet west of the intersection with North Howard Street, and then 20 feet west. And that's for
It's basically the size of about the size of a vehicle, and it's right in front of the front door
That's
of the facility.
There you go. So any questions regarding that? If not, I would entertain a motion for approval.
I'll move we accept ordinance 2022. Oh,
Before
Yes.
you do that, I'm curious,
Mhm.
have the issues been resolved with the building?
Interesting you ask. Well, we have a member of the audience that would be very intrigued with that too. But
yeah.
Steve, if you don't mind, share your discussion you had. We got John Anderson into town the other day. He come into town and actually called on, was it Friday?
Yep.
It was,
Friday.
yeah.
And it was raining, so he was able to witness firsthand the problem. He is at this time not convinced that the drain from the roof needs to be put underground. He is going to take some extra steps and processes to slow the water down and help disperse the water better throughout the grass area. I have instructed him that I wasn't confident that that was going to resolve the problem, but unfortunately, our county area planning in the state of Indiana basically approved the design of the plan. So he's a little bit hesitant to just agree to put it underground at present time. All of the grass, all of the yard work that the water has rutted up and caused basically no grass to grow, all that's going to be remedied and addressed and taken care of. The bare spots that need to be reseeded are all going to be reseeded. They've obviously got some sinkhole type situations going on where they took out the old pump house and the boiler. That's also being addressed. The trash containment area, he is not at all pleased with that. That is a contractor issue. Initially, I had no idea that he did not hire Best Way out of farmland to be the trash service provider. So when I called Best Way to find out why they weren't shutting the gates, because that's part of their contractual agreement is to close all the gates, and I was told by Best Way that they didn't have that agreement, and I come up and I confirmed that it is Rumpke. John and I talked in great detail. He is going to fire Rumpke, and he is planning on contracting their trash pickup with Bestway. That, in a simple process, is going to resolve the gate issue because the Bestway driver will close the gate. That's part of our contract with them. I have no concrete information on what that timeline looks like, but he was not happy because they paid, as you can imagine, several dollars to build that containment area, and they've busted the walk-in door, and the big gates to get the trucks in and out are already busted and partially hanging off, and I believe that problem will be remedied fairly quickly, but all I can do is continue to follow up. And your issue with your yard, Brad has looked at it. That's on the list for the guys to remedy, but it's been so wet that we just haven't brought any topsoil or anything in to fix your yard.
Tell me your fix again, I missed that, I can't hear you.
Fixing.
What is the fix on the water? Tell me your fix, I didn't hear
What he's going to do is talk to his engineering company, K.I.S., which is the contractor that built it, and they're the company that engineered it. They're talking about putting what I would identify as like riprap or really big rocks to basically slow that water down coming out of the pipe, which create that river. John and I literally stood in the top of the alley in the pouring down rain, and we could see the exact path of the water down the alleyway. So he does have a visual, but he also has a very legitimate case that our local area planning out of Randolph County allowed that to happen. He's not sure what the plumbing was like on the inside of the building. It's our belief that is the roof drain that's been rerouted out of our sanitary sewer, and it's coming through the back wall of the building, and it's just coming out right onto the ground. I think it was a little bit of a perfect storm, if you don't mind the pun. I think you had a lot of new constructed grass or poorly finished area, and they just threw some grass seed down. They didn't do anything to retain the mud or the muck or anything that's going to be created. It probably should have had silt fence there, and it didn't. But the county doesn't really necessarily require silt fence anywhere. So, you know, those are part of a bigger conversation, partially because we're looking at pulling out of area planning. But it was approved, and he does have a
you. Would a catch
legitimate.
basin be, if you put it right there, because the storm sewer goes right through the middle of the alley? I've been here 22 years.
Correct.
Would you
It does.
Catch basin in and make that problem go away?
Correct. That is a possibility. What we proposed to him, and you know, Monty basically pulled it up on GIS and mapped it out and showed him exactly where he could connect to the storm system. It's basically just to the west side of that new sidewalk that comes out to the trash collection area. He just doesn't feel like he should have to invest the $4,000 or $5,000 it's going to cost him to dig it up because it was an approved plan. So I think the city's best interest is to continue monitoring it, allow him to put the riprap and disperse the water a little bit wider pattern and see if that makes any difference. If it doesn't, I mean, I think we're going to know, you know, within 10 or 15 days after he puts the riprap in there and does that work, I think we're going to know what we're going to get as soon as we get a big rain.
Well, you're missing one other thing also, with that, is a trash truck comes up at the side of my house there in the alley, and eventually, you know what they do to alleys. It's already between the water and the trash truck, they're destroying the alley. So
No, I don't
once
disagree.
in 5 years, it ain't gonna be worth driving down.
Yep,
I mean, that's the reality of it.
I don't disagree. Incline of the road because of the type of alley it is, because of the age of the alley, that's going to have to be looked at as an area that's going to need to be widened. It's going to have to be paved. It's going to have to be better than it is currently, just for the simple fact that it's going to receive a lot heavier weight traffic than it has for a long time.
And our alleys do not count toward our total miles of streets.
No, they do not.
So if we turn that into a street, we can put it under community crossings to get paving dollars for it, couldn't we?
Potentially.
But would it require a certain width? And
Oh, yeah,
coverage?
that would be wider than what an alley would, yes, yeah. Crap. Sorry.
I just think there's a
I think
multitude
the
of things
placement
that have
of
to
the
be
dumpster
looked
was
at.
a very poor decision, but that's just my own personal.
Yeah, that's where they, yeah. Of course, unfortunately, I don't
Yes,
think
sir.
there's a good place, period, for that dumpster.
Well, for us who's been there, me and Daryl's been there together over 40 years, and we have to go out and look at that.
Yeah.
And you know, the trash blowing all over our properties and.
That
problem.
that better come to a stop.
Yeah.
That better,
That should resolve.
yeah, but again, we gotta keep an eye on it, because if it doesn't, we gotta come up with another plan. Or we've gotta have them come up with another plan.
I just had a comment for Steve. I appreciate your attentiveness because I had some issues and you have looked into them and I've seen some results. They have brought some dirt out to my backyard and I appreciate that. And you did say that they are going to fix the dumpster issue.
That's my understanding, yes, and I will be making sure that that is resolved.
One other issue, I have a friend that lives in that apartment building. And those back steps are a safety hazard. I went to visit them, though there are spikes sticking up out of the cement back there. And
Where at?
this, you know, the wooden steps,
Uh-huh.
right in that cement pad back there, there's spikes.
At the base right inside the
Yeah,
door?
rebar,
Yeah.
rebar.
All right,
Yeah.
I'll go take a look for that
Yeah.
first thing tomorrow morning.
And I thought that may be something that shouldn't wait because,
Yeah.
you know, you have some older folks there. that
Oh,
might
absolutely.
Stumble, and if somebody falls down, they could be impaled in.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll take a look at that first thing in the morning. I have not noticed that, but I don't notice everything, so. And just to rest assured, I don't think John Anderson, the gentleman who owns it, I don't think he's the type of individual that's not going to take care of a problem. I think he's a businessman and isn't going to spend money without cause.
Yeah.
And I think he wants to try less costly options and make sure that he can't resolve it the way it was designed before he puts it underground.
I mean, I know this world we live in now, people are constantly suing people. And if somebody falls over there, that's gonna be a major lawsuit, cause it's sticking there, there's like 5 of them in a circle.
It's inside the building.
No, when you're walking up to the steps, that
Okay.
cement pad, before you step on your first step to go up, there are in a circle,
Something must have been bolted there.
yes,
Okay.
they put the rebar.
Those will be gone first thing in the morning. I literally was just out there Friday and I did not, it was pouring down rain, but I didn't, they didn't catch my eye. So I'll take care of that first thing in the morning.
So, same topic, different topic. John Anderson and what he requested the funds be paid, has that been settled?
Not until these issues are resolved, so.
Well, that's why I wasn't sure if that conversation occurred.
I don't know, did that conversation come up? Cause Steve talked to him.
Yes, it did.
What did he say?
He's angry.
Yeah.
So the message that you sent was very well played because he's angry and he came Friday specifically to address every single minute issue that we had because he wants it right.
So yeah, we're still in a holding pattern until he gets these issues corrected.
What's the plan with the community space? That was the kitchen and all that he said that he'd already paid for.
He's searching desperately for something to go into those spaces. I gave him some additional information on businesses and people that theoretically space, and it's basically been prepped and ready to be built out as white space, which is basically just a wide open space that's easily convertible. So feet. but he wants to have a few conversations with some of the leads that I gave him on Friday so that he can know more definitively what he needs to do to the spaces.
Thank you.
Very good.
Given if I would be at the next meeting, I would say that we put this on hold until that has been resolved. I wouldn't help out anymore, but that I would.
Oh, you mean the parking?
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't do that, because that's a liability issue.
And we need that for
There's
our.
safety issues all around that place. it
Well,
sounds like.
yeah, but we, unfortunately, we'd be creating another one if we can't get a rescue squad in there.
We need,
Oh, I didn't
we
know
need
that was
this,
an
we
issue.
need this for our purpose.
Yeah.
We've responded there twice, and this is where it's come up. Number one, there's a couple people in power chairs in that facility there on the second and third floors. We have responded twice on medical emergencies and have turned the corner off of Howard, and there's been people double parked on Oak Street and completely blocking the only access for wheelchair accessibility and getting our cot in and out of the building. So that is why it's imperative that we fix that and address that the front door area stays wide open so that everybody can get in and out.
This is a community help, not a John
Correct.
Anderson help.
Right, correct, yeah. Make it feel better.
And I think, I think this is fairly minimalistic at this point too, from the standpoint of if you went by some other standards, we'd clear most of that across there,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, we did accommodate them to I mean, literally, they're losing one parking place in front of the building,
That's,
so.
Is that enough for us
I don't
though?
think the parking lot's.
It's enough for me to be able to minimally accomplish our task, yes, and that, I'm okay with that.
well, he's able to, one of the things that makes a difference is he's, particularly since Oak Street's as wide as it is, fire apparatus right there, not be.
Right.
And not have a car
Not
though.
have a problem, yeah,
Yeah.
so.
With that being said, I would hereby now entertain a motion for approval for 22-08 on the first reading.
I'll move we accept ordinance 2022-08, an ordinance amending chapter 7, schedule 2 of the codified ordinances of the city of Union City, Indiana concerning no parking areas by title only.
Brandon Elmore,
Yes.
Bob Leahy,
Yes.
Nathan Conklin,
Yes.
Tim Heiss,
Yes.
Tito Frias.
Yes.
All right, now, the next one, as you know, we have Mr. Conklin unfortunately going off of council, so we will have an opening for the council president position. So we need to elect a new council president.
I would like to nominate Brandon Elmore.
We have a nomination on the floor.
I'll second.
We have a first and we have a second.
I guess, Brandon, will you do it?
Yes, it's an honor and a privilege, and I wish you, Mr. Mayor, good health and attendance.
Yeah, thank you. I do know what that's like though, because I never liked it when the previous mayor left either, and I was in that position. Okay, well then, do we need to do a roll call vote, Jan? Or do you want me to just do
Well, you
consensus?
nominated him, so, yeah, I think you just do a consensus.
Yeah, consensus. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. All right, avoided the awkward situation, so thank you. The water rate study agreement. That is also in your packet, right after the last ordinance. So you see here, May 2nd, 2022, presentation from Baker Tilly. Basically, it's a detailed, and to the general public what this is a detailed study that they present, that they would conduct regarding the last 3 calendar years, and also the most recent 12-month period regarding financial information for water usage, the flow of both funds and amounts of water expended, and basically determining trends, amounts of revenue, cash operation, maintenance expenses, debt service requirements, and expenditures for improvements to the utility property and plant. So this is a study only to determine the state of affairs and where we're at and where we would be down the road if we did nothing or if we proposed something. No promises one way or the other. So did you guys formulate any questions or thoughts in terms of reviewing this? Anything that you need clarity on?
Of what they already, the information they already provide.
Correct.
And some- yeah.
So if there are no questions or comments, I would entertain a motion for approval to conduct the study.
So can we just, before we get there, can we just back up and explain that it's because the state abrogated a particular tax in principle, that brings water rates down. However, we were thinking that we may have needed to increase.
Correct.
And so the reason that we're doing this water rate study is to determine what increase is actually justifiable and needed.
Right.
And then factor in the reduction from the reduced tax. So that we can not, instead of changing the rates twice, we change it only once.
Right. Well put.
So that stated, I move that we approve the scope of work in the engagement letter dated September 30th, 2020 with Baker Tilly.
Yeah, the May 2nd, 2022 is actually their most recent proposal to us.
Oh.
Sorry about that.
Why did?
Yeah, it says September 30th up on the top, I just noticed that.
Oh, it does on the far right, on the top right.
Yeah, well, that's what has to be.
Threw me off.
Yeah, now I'm saying I didn't know where you're looking at. I didn't even see that up there. The top right does say September 3rd. Yeah.
All right, May 2nd.
Yeah, May 2nd, 2022 is. That's interesting. I wonder why they put that up there. So,
It's an appendix to the
Yes.
engagement letter dated
They
September.
must have already done something.
oh, there you go. There you go. It does say appendix. So we have a first and we have a second.
I'll second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Those opposed, nay. All right. Visitors wishing to, yes, I'm sorry.
I wanted to ask you,
Yes.
the solar consultant or the energy consultant, when were they going to start and do that?
They have actually already started. I'm weeks into that conversation.
Okay.
AEP is kind of messing with the process a little bit. They're not very forthcoming with the information that they need to do the evaluation. So we have submitted additional paperwork last Friday to get their rate study taken care of. Just in conversation means absolutely nothing, but in conversation they believe that they can save us a fair amount of money. They basically advise that what they can see, the kilowatt per hour charge is rather high for what they see in other communities, and that they believe that the solar proposal would potentially even cut that in half. So I don't know what that means. I don't have dollar figures, but they're working on it, and AEP has not been overly cooperative with the process.
Probably not.
One last thing, any update on the polls from?
That's what I was gonna say.
What was it?
I was gonna say, well, speaking of not cooperating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any response from your letter?
Not yet.
You got it sent out?
Well, considering it took, we sent it. Because Monty sent it, And haven't heard anything. Well, I haven't. Monty didn't say anything to me today. I did see him at the end of the day today
I haven't
because he
seen
stopped
any
in.
email response.
As I say, I don't know of any response. So yeah, because you would be copied on anything that he would send back. So considering it took approaching a year before we actually got an invoice from them, I'm not shocked that we've not heard anything after 2 weeks or whatever it was. So.
I said we get it done and send them the bill.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Unfortunately, we'd have to do it ourselves, and that.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah.
So.
So,
What's that?
That's chainsaw and backhoe.
Yeah. Visitors wishing to address the board, please stand, state your name and address, and the nature of your business.
My name is Donna Wise.
Mm-hmm.
I live at 612 North Union. I was here a month ago, and I'm back. Same problems. And I have a paper here. I'll give that to you, once you see that.
Mm-hmm.
That we took off of the Randolph County computer, stating these people used to own it. This person still does.
Uh-huh.
And it was condemned. It should be down.
Okay.
And I've taken pictures. Would you like to see them?
Sure. Absolutely.
And see if you'd like to live there.
Donna, which property to the north or south of you?
George, well, it's
606 North Union.
Yep. There's one to the north of me. They finally mowed the yard, but they didn't move anything out of the backyard. They mowed around it, believe it or not.
Yeah, Jamie's comments, he says they plan on fixing it. They have kids in school, and when they go on break, they are coming up to work on it. It will be early June, though, before they wait.
Okay, here's the front to the north. North of me, north.
Okay.
Okay, this is the backyard.
Is this piles in the
Yeah,
backyard too?
yeah, sir, it is. This is on city property. I've been told it might take years to get that off of there. This is more piles.
Unless the whole place was bulldozed.
No, that'd be possible. This is coming in from the north, or from, I'm looking up towards the west.
Okay.
This is the back of George Green's used to be house.
This is still 606?
This is, yes.
Okay.
The other one was the other one.
Okay. Oh, mercy.
You know, would you like to live there, Chad?
No. Oh, especially I wouldn't even want to live next to them. Oh, good grief.
Look at them varmints.
Oh, good grief.
And this is looking out my kitchen window.
Is this still
is what I have.
606?
Yeah, this is what I have to look at.
Trying to pull it up on GIS.
This hasn't been mowed for one time yet.
It has not been mowed?
No, sir. And this is the side of it on the east side. This is still the east side.
Oh, good lord.
There's no windows in there. They're broke out. This is still on the east side.
Oh, my gosh.
No.
That looked a lot better.
Yeah, that was Vegas.
Vacation, wasn't it? Can I give you my cell phone number? Can I trust you with my cell phone number not to post it on Facebook?
I don't get on Facebook.
Good.
I don't get on there. I don't need that stuff.
Yeah, but I did
Please
yesterday.
send those pictures to me.
I can try.
And that is, I am so sorry. That is repulsive.
But, I've been told that
Can
I
I
did
keep
talk
this?
to, yes, you may.
Thank you.
I have a copy of them.
Good.
I was told by Jamie, he's in works doing it. It's gonna take time.
But that's not acceptable,
You know,
though. We can't be held hostage, though.
You know, so they have to wait till their kids get out of school. That's okay. The lady has family here. They could have came down, cleaned
Yep,
up
yep.
and mowed.
Yep, I agree. I completely
And,
agree.
I've been living beside this dumps.
Too long.
Yeah, my youngest son was like 5 when we moved in there.
Oh.
And the people to the north of it took it up. But after it started being rented out, it just got worse.
Yeah.
And, you know, when neighbors around me, they don't like it either.
No, nor should they. I don't want people to like that. Because we got a problem in our community if we have people that
Well,
like that or
there's
accept
the
it.
lady to the east of this house. She's called and talked to Monty. I know she has. And she sees people wandering around there. Our concern is, what if a vagrant gets in and starts a fire? There's only 10 feet, there's only like from here to Steve from me from that house.
I was gonna say, there's only this
I mean,
much space
totally.
between the fence and the house.
Yeah,
I don't
and,
know.
it's just, my house is going toast. Somebody's gonna pay. So I want something done.
I appreciate that. I agree.
And
Okay.
I'll try my best, I'm not good at this.
No. Well, if do like I do, get your kids or grandkids. they'll have it done
My
in
kid
seconds.
lives in Caddy.
But thank you.
So I'm a little curious, you mentioned that if one of the properties was rented, I didn't see any of the pictures or what have you, but,
Would you like to see them?
606 North Union's deplored.
Go down there and look
But
at it.
my question is, I wonder if a rental inspection was done when these individuals moved in.
Well, nobody
Maybe
lived
that's
there.
something that we could follow up on and see if the city had done a rental
One of them
inspection on the property.
606 North Union and one of them
616.
is 616.
Go ahead, Brandon.
But I'm that.
I just said that, I'm wondering if a rental inspection was done on the
So
property.
be careful
On
driving down
616.
there.
I know
Well, and
the
that's just it. It's not it's technically not a rental now, correct? They're supposedly, the Medinas are supposedly buying it.
They bought it, and I
But-
got told that they're gonna fix it up when they come to town in 2 weeks. Now, how you gonna fix a house that's run down like that in 2 weeks?
The one on the south side is not inhabited, the one.
And they
north
said they're
of
gonna
our
rent
house
it.
is.
So I'm gonna be more junk.
Yeah, this is not acceptable at all.
Oh, so I must have misunderstood. I thought you said that somebody was renting it and that's where it kind of went downhill, more so
The
than
one
what
to
it
the
currently is.
north, the one to the north did. See, I have one on each side of me.
If you go down the alley, Donna's house on the right, the one on the left is not in good shape.
But the one on the north is rented.
It's better, but they need to clean it up. They just,
Sure.
he's out there, the big John Deere tractor today, some guy was mowing around the big trash piles. Instead of cleaning the trash piles up in the whole yard, just go around them.
Well, I'm sorry. So yeah, we will be addressing this tonight, actually, before the day is over.
Well, on your way home, go down past.
No, I've seen probably more pictures there than what I could even drive by, in fact. So.
Already did.
Anybody else that wishes to address?
I'll just say one more thing.
Yes, sir. I'm sorry, we didn't get the pleasure, if you don't mind.
Daryl Biggs,
Daryl.
Daryl Biggs, 217.
Thank you,
North
Daryl.
Howard Street.
Thank you, Darryl.
Been there 22 years. And over that time, the city has sent me a letter. Back in 2000, they requested that I get rid of some unsightly Adams family trees that were in my front yard. Do you remember those trees?
Yeah.
Okay, so they sent me the letter and I removed those trees. So I trust you all that this issue we have with the water and with the trash dumpster, I know you all are gonna take care of it, and I appreciate that.
Well, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
And we need to stay on it.
Yeah, thank you.
It's one thing, it's easy for us to get, we're all living here together.
Yeah.
We all want the same thing.
Yeah.
So thank you, Darryl. All right, well, the date of our next council meeting, this is very important to note, so please, everybody heads up, is Monday, May 23rd, 2022 at 6 p.m. That's at the wastewater plant, the new wastewater plant. And that's
Is it
it.
at 6 or 6:30?
It's the council meeting is at 6.
Okay.
It's my hope that we do a quick business meeting. We approve the claims and it moves directly into, within 30 minutes, the open house and the ceremony for the open house.
Yeah. So we will have the meeting here, but then
Nope.
the
The
meeting's out there. Okay.
It'll
So
be
the
set
meeting's
up
out there
out
at
there.
6 o'clock.
At 6 o'clock, but I want, and we need to have the meeting done by 6:30 because that's when the ceremony and the open house.
So everybody's changed. Everybody wants to see what the wastewater treatment plant looks like. That's a great opportunity because it's a really nice complex that we've worked diligently to get accomplished through a lot of grant assistance. So that's Monday, May 23rd, 6 p.m. at the wastewater plant. Now the date of the Board of Public Works meeting is that same day at 1 p.m., but that is in its usual place in the community room. So.
No, it's in here.
Or in here,
Yeah.
sorry, you're having it in here now, aren't you? Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I butchered that enough, so. I would hereby entertain a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
We have a first and we have a second.
I'll second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Meeting adjourned.